Coming up this week on Unpicked.
I was very indifferent about it.
Oh, really?
Do you see how we came to the same, the same
100%.
statement? Bruh, you haven't even released nothing context.
It was Nigel Williams.
SteffLon.
That's the context.
Nigerian men are the Jamaican men of Africa. Like, I don't understand.
No, fix the
Pause.
face. Fix the face. Fix the face. No, we're going to keep going, but fix the face.
No.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
What's good, people? It's your boy Venom in the place to be with none other than my home slice. So, it's been too long.
So out of touch. It's Dammy Zane in the building.
And we are the Unpicked Podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you like what you see, if you're following us on one of the streaming platforms or the podcasting platforms, then give us a thumbs up. Let us know what we're doing is cool. Or leave a comment and let us know what we're not doing is cool. It's all good. Question time, I guess, before we get into the episode. How was your New Year celebration? What did you do?
I came into the New Year in church, which I do every year, innit? Yeah, that was it really. You?
Party. I was partying with the wife and some of her friends. It was a vibe. I don't know if I'm going to do that next year, but it was a vibe. It was a vibe this year. I think next year I want to host my own party for the celebration so that I can control certain elements.
Okay.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
It was all good. Any favorite memories from 2023 before we fully embrace the next year? No. Okay.
You?
Favorite memory from 2023? I think it's my cousin's announcement that he was expecting with his partner.
Yeah.
That was a blessing, and their journey has been a very blessed one. So yeah,
That's good.
and low key, I might be someone special in that baby's life without saying anything. You know what I mean? Without, you know what I mean?
You've said it all then, haven't you?
I
You've said it all.
ain't said nothing. So you know.
Yes, you ain't said nothing, but you said it.
You hear me? So those are
yeah,
that's a special
cool.
the special memory for me from 2023.
That's
On
good.
to 2024, yeah.
Onto
To bigger and better things, yeah. A wild card, but have you got a song for the playlist?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I've got one, don't worry. The song for the playlist that I'd like to add this week is Usher and Her, that they're referring to as
Okay.
Ush Her. It's called Risk It All. It's from The Color Purple.
Yeah.
And the video is
yeah.
banging. The song is really sensual and nice. But yeah, the video is banging and it just sold me on it's very nice. Very nice and
It is
very
very
brown.
nice.
So yeah.
It's a very nice song. It's a very, very nice song.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jonathan Majors, you must have seen, but have you seen the I guess the final verdict on the Jonathan Majors trial?
Yeah, I heard about this.
What were your thoughts? I mean, for those that don't know, Jonathan Majors went to trial because his ex-girlfriend, I think her name's Grace Jabari, accused him of domestic violence in some capacity. There was a few different charges. Some were in the 3rd degree, some were in the 1st degree. He basically got acquitted of all the ones that were in the 1st degree, but found guilty of all the ones in the 3rd degree. So in terms of the trial, he's still guilty. So he's been dropped by Disney. He's no longer playing Kang in the Marvels, and he just has that stigma attached to his name, but also has to face possibly up to a year in, I don't know, jail or prison. The American terms are they're beyond me. But yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Have you seen like the footage and?
Yeah, Well, it was a while ago, wasn't it? Now, so yeah. What did I think at the time? I was very indifferent about it.
Oh, really?
Just like, okay.
Why? What was the source of your indifference,
Yes.
if you know what I mean?
Because I think in all honesty, I'm tired of the same conversations. So off the back of this scenario, this situation, the same sort of conversations were had off the back of it. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to entertain anything to do with that. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. So I just, yeah. Because it was just like, oh, okay, fine. There's going to be, yeah. I mean, there was black men outraged. Oh, all he did was push her off him. That's all he did. And he's guilty for it. Oh, they're trying to get a black man down, blah, blah, blah. Then there was black women. Oh, if he didn't date a white woman, if he was dating a black woman, that would never happen. Like, it was just the same sort of
conversations,
narrative.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I've heard this a million times and I'm not about to entertain it anymore. So I was just like, okay, cool, that happened. Next. Like, so that's why. That's the reason. So
yeah, he did.
I'm sure you've got an opinion.
No, do you know what? To be fair, my only opinion is that I'm quite upset that he was found guilty. I didn't know how the case was built, and that there was like third degree and first degree and what it all meant. So yeah, he was definitely going to be found guilty. But it's more the outcome that upset me, because knowing that he's not going to be Kang, I've literally just finished watching Loki, and his acting is amazing, and like where he could have taken that role would have been amazing. Now we'll never know. So it's really unfortunate, and it's also really unfortunate for the scenario to play out in the way it did when you hear the evidence, like the tape recording of him explaining to her who he needs her to be, what he's trying to achieve, etc., etc., and then for this to be like the outcome of that relationship, it's really unfortunate.
When I heard the tape, I was just like, oh, rolled my eyes so hard.
I mean, it's definitely that.
I rolled my eyes so hard. I was like, okay, here we go. Here's a man telling a woman how to be. What's new?
Yeah, but I don't think
if you don't like how she behaves, then change the woman.
Oh, 100%, which is what I was thinking, but obviously that's not what happened.
So like she is who she is. If you don't like that, then go and find a woman that is what you want.
Yeah.
Don't sit there trying to change her into what you want her to be. You have no right to do that.
I mean, you definitely have the right to ask.
You don't.
To ask, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Why does he not have the right to ask?
Everyone has the right to be who they want to be.
Of course.
So she has every right to be who she is.
That's her maintaining, yeah.
Cool. If he doesn't like that, then he should leave and go to someone else and be with someone who represents whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, who ticks the boxes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, before you leave, you definitely should ask the person, hey, are you willing to be this, that, and the next? Because that's what I need. And then they say no. And then you're like, okay, cool. I'm a bounce.
You knew who she was when you met her.
Yeah, but knowing who someone was doesn't mean you know who they will be. Everybody can change. And some people are willing to change. Some people want to change. Some people need guidance. And some people have no interest in it whatsoever. Which apparently she didn't.
Okay. Katt Williams.
Yeah.
Did you watch the podcast episode?
Nope, not 3 hours. Nope.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah,
I actually did, because I was like, I might as well put it on while I'm working just to hear what's going on. But based on what you've heard, do you believe Katt?
Oh yeah, but Katt's been saying this stuff for years. Like, there's obviously some new bits in there, and it's a brand new. Shannon Sharp is very top of the culture, so it has riled people up that it's back in the forefront. But a lot of what Katt's saying, he said before. He's always had beef with like Kevin Hart, and So
Steve
I'm
Harvey and
I'm
etc.
definitely more so in belief of what Katt's saying than not.
Okay. Is that because he said it before?
Because he's maintained certain stories, and I think after this podcast is aired, a lot of the celebs that he said, let's say, negative things about have defended themselves, whereas if it was me and someone was chatting breeze, I'll just air it. And a lot of other celebs have corroborated what he said with like, yeah, no, that person did steal from that person, they stole from me, da 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 da. So it's like, it's that, and the way or the gravity of the fallout and the amount of people who have had to react to what he said further makes me believe that he's probably telling the truth. I don't really care either way because most of it doesn't affect anything major, but in terms of belief, I'm definitely more on the side that I believe what he's saying. Yeah, thoroughly entertaining though.
I believe him, but that's just because I'm biased. It's because he's one of my top 3.
He's definitely up there. He's been up there.
Like it's Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, and probably Bernie Mac. And for the fact that he supports those two as well, I was just like, whatever he says,
I'm with it. Yeah. I don't blame you.
I'm like, yeah, that's it. I mean, he didn't say anything that's too far-fetched. He said that the industry is full of, he didn't say Illuminati, but secret societies and people doing things to get to certain places. That's been something we've known for like from the like it's not new.
Yeah.
That actors have to do, not all, that some actors have been said to have had to do sexual acts to get certain roles and stuff like that. So it's not far-fetched.
And then when you think of people like Weinstein and what they've been found guilty of, then it kind of aligns.
And then it's like anything is possible in that world now. Do you know what I mean? So like, like the whole Epstein thing is so wild that it makes, think about it. In our lifetime, we've had Epstein, we've had Diddy. No, sorry. Let me take Diddy out. Diddy's an allegation.
He's an allegation.
Let me take him out. Let me take him out.
You can put it R. Kelly, but Diddy is.
Yeah, I was meant to say R. Kelly. That's what I was meant to say. We've had Epstein, we've had R. Kelly, we've had Weinstein as well. We've had
Rolf Harris.
Rolf Harris. Even in the UK, we've had what was that? That guy that used to work with the kids.
That's what I meant. Rolf Harris. Is it not Harris? Is it not Rolf Harris? Or is it another
there's
one?
Rolf Harris.
Okay, sorry.
There's another one. He had blonde hair. That's all I can remember. He had blonde hair. Anyway, I can't remember the name, but I'll put a picture on the screen. Like there's been a number of.
Oh yeah,
like,
I was gonna say a different one. It's an allegation.
Yeah, I'm just going by the ones that.
Yeah, no, I was about to say it, and then I was like, wait.
Yeah, that they've investigated, and each one, the severity of the allegations, or like not even just the severity, but the wildness, the quirkiness of the things that they've done, means that nothing can surprise me. So when I'm hearing things about, yeah, Diddy's parties were wild, people used to do stuff, I'm like, well, I mean, Epstein had a whole island, so that's not hard to believe. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so
people doing things outside, boy.
People be doing things in the back. So when you hear the few talking, it's like, I mean, nowadays it's viable because we've seen what we've seen. So I'm sorry, I believe Katt. And all that, he's been quiet for time, he's just coming out the woodworks, blah blah blah. Listen, Katt's got money. He doesn't even need to talk. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he didn't do the thing for me is, and he made that clear in the actual podcast as well, is he didn't come on there to sell anything.
Yeah.
He didn't come on there to promote a show, to promote a book, to promote. He didn't come there to do anything. It's almost like, I ain't doing nothing on Saturday. I might as well just spill all the tea. I might as well just go have a conversation with my guy. I mean, I don't need to do this, but I ain't got nothing else to do right now. I might as well. I got a bit of free time.
But
that's what it was giving.
On the flip, very timely that he's also now going on tour and taking Kevin Hart's wife with him, who's also a comedian. I didn't know that she was a comedian. I just assumed that his
he
previous
spoke
wife
about
was.
that he spoke about that as well.
Yeah.
He was like saying how these guys go and get some lighty or racially ambiguous woman that no one's ever like interviewed or spoken to or know what they do or whatever. They're just there.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke about that as well. I was like, I mean, is it the ex-wife that's a comedian?
It's the ex-wife,
or...
yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So that's the mother of his first child.
Of his kids.
Yeah.
I think two. The first of the two. He's got two.
I had no idea she was a comedian.
That's kind of shady though, Katt. But I love it. That's Katt Williams for you.
Is it shady? Everyone needs to be put on, yo. Like until this day,
I think it's shady.
until this day, I didn't know she was a comedian. So I
think it's. Do you know why I think it's shady? Because Kevin and Katt have maybe not beef, but rivalry. There's a bit of tension there, and then he goes and.
I mean,
it's like, I swear, cool, your ex-wife, cool. Me and your ex-wife are gonna go do a thing.
He just did what Kevin didn't do. Should we begrudge him? I didn't know she was a comedian.
That's how she's gonna see it, and she's within her rights to see it that way.
Nah, she liked the drama. She clearly liked the drama.
But for it to be Katt, why couldn't it be Dave Chappelle?
Because no one tried to put her on. Katt tried to put her on.
But that's what I'm saying. Why couldn't it have been Dave Chappelle? That was like,
I don't even think Dave has an opener. When I went to see Dave, he didn't have an opener. No, he didn't.
You don't need one, so.
I mean, neither does Katt. But he likes to put other comedians on.
No. The last time I went to see Dave, he had an opener.
Oh yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
UK comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember who it was?
It was this Caucasian guy.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I just remember me and my brother. Me and my brother was like,
"What's going on?"
But then he started making racist jokes about Caucasian people. And me and my brother was like, oh, okay.
That's why we put him on. Actually, tell a lie. He has even said that he's put people on to do open for him because Daphne, who he talked about in not this special but the previous special, the trans woman, was he put them on to open for him.
Yeah. So yeah. But okay, well, I mean. Maybe he did try and sell something. Maybe he did want a bit.
I think he just put himself on the map for the tour, but indirectly. Yeah. He said, I'm just gonna spill some tea, and then people talked a little bit, and then a week later, you find out that he's going on. He didn't announce, but you find out, and it's just in line with the tea, and it just, you know what I mean? It just casually. Nothing by chance, man. Nothing by chance. No, I love Katt. His stand-ups was just epic. Like, I'm thinking back, how many years, man? At least 15 years, at least, if not more. And I was screaming watching these stand-ups. Like, that's all I used to do was watch stand-ups back in the day anyway.
The one that stands out to me the most was the
every day I'm hustling. Yeah, that's the one from about 17 years ago. That I remember watching.
I feel like he's got a good heart as well. But then I'm being biased because he's Christian.
No, but there's people that come to corroborate that. You're saying that because of your affinity to the religion, but in him throwing shade and then people standing up to say, oh no, what's his name? I think it's Deontay Leon, something like this. Another black comedian. He was telling the story of how Katt came not to see him like specifically, or maybe Katt came to see him specifically but didn't tell him. He was just in the crowd. He did his set, finished his set, a woman comes up to him, $1,000. He's like, who'd that come from? But then other comedians, he said what happened, and other comedians said, oh, that's probably Katt. Katt does that sometimes. If he likes what you're doing, he just bless you. Katt supposedly donated like more to other comedians than anybody on earth. Like he
studied the craft as well. He didn't consider himself to be a comedian. He studied the craft and learned how to do it, and then was doing it. But I'm not saying it because of the affinity to the religion, because anyone can say that they call themselves a Christian, but their actions is what makes. It's the way he speaks. It's what he says. He sounds very profound. He's very wise. spiritually, I feel, based on what I heard from listening to the actual podcast. So I didn't know that about him. I just thought he was a joker. Do you get what I mean? And then listening to the podcast, I was like, oh, okay, like he's actually really deep. He's very wise. Like he's very in the faith. So that was like, oh, even more reason to like the guy.
Yeah.
You know? But I do believe him based on what I said earlier. You know, we've heard wild things already that have been confirmed because it's been investigated and evidence has been brought out. So if any new allegations come out about people, especially if they're people that we've already been a bit like, then I have no reason not to believe, which is probably why Diddy slipped out my mouth so fast, because people have been talking about Diddy for a very long time, not just one or two. There's been a few people that have, you know, said things along the way. Diddy's the reason why Wendy Williams ended up on a talk show, because she spoke about it way back. She used to be on radio, and it was Diddy that she spoke about.
Yeah.
And that caused beef. And next thing you know, she got dropped by the radio station, and she went into she started doing talk show host, and that's where the Wendy Williams show got
Came
birthed.
from. So I gotta blame Diddy for that.
So obviously I'm doing cliff notes, but that's basically the trajectory of her career. And, you know, so that's what Wendy Williams, Jaguar Wright, there was that other rapper that I think was signed to him that wrote a book about him and all the stuff that he's done. And
Not Mace.
Diddy tried to stop, not Mace, there was another guy that wrote a book, or he threatened to write a book, or he wrote a book, and Diddy was like, I'm not having that. He's come out again. Mace has spoken. Like there's been, you know, if they're all saying the same thing, then come on, do you know what I'm saying? So I believe Katt. I believe Katt. I believe him.
Yeah.
Everything he's saying.
For me, it's everyone needs to disprove whatever he's saying. He even clapped at Ludacris.
I saw
And
that.
then
And then
Ludacris
Luda came out with some freestyle bars. I was like, if you don't go sit down.
And then he said, at the end of them bars, my cousin had me crying because I saw the post on Instagram, and my cousin was in the comments laughing. So I watched it to see first. And then he was like, yeah, something about check your temperature. And I was like, and he did this particular gesture, like he was sick. And I was like, that's check your pulse. Wait. My cousin was dying. I said, bruv, he was under pressure. He was trying to deliver a comeback shot.
He was really trying. I mean, I love Ludacris.
Under pressure.
Again, I love Ludacris.
I love that Ludacris. Kane Rose rapping. I hate acting Ludacris, but
yeah, I don't like acting Ludacris.
It's not that anymore. Yeah,
I like musical Ludacris. I listen to Luda in the gym.
Still now,
myself. Yeah, he's on my playlist. Yeah,
Okay.
He's on my gym playlist. Yeah, a lot of his songs.
Yeah,
are on my
yeah.
playlist.
Obviously,
I love Luda. Yeah,
Throw Them
Luda's
Bows
one of
era. That Ludacris.
all that stuff is my vibe.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in that era.
No,
Like,
I'm with
this
you.
stuff
I'm
is
with
not
you.
for me.
I'm with you.
So I love Luda, but I was like, Luda, come on, man, you should have
just held the L and just. If it's
Keep it
not
moving.
true, then act like he's chatting wet, and if
People-
it's true,
people-
just
people-
ignore it.
It is what it is. Like you've done what you've
Don't
done.
do
to
the
get to where you need to
bars.
get to. Like,
Don't
you need to
do
start
the
doing
bars.
bars. Like, come on, man. Like, come on.
So corny.
Like, very.
If it was a rapper, I would
corny.
so be with him. Yeah, do the bars. But it's just bare, like someone who sat down like this, just talking business about you, and then you come back rapping. It's just giving.
It's very. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like babes. Like
What he
it's
did,
okay,
yeah,
you
what we
have
did,
to-
we did. He did too much, bro.
This is a.
Write a tweet or something. You did way too
Yeah,
much.
like this is above you.
In
This is
the
above you.
studio, got the chain on. Like, what we doing, bro?
Jay sitting there in the studio.
What we
acting
doing?
Like,
What we doing?
like, come on, man. Let it. Like, come on.
You
come
sat
on,
down
come
and
on.
made
It's
sure
above
it
you.
rhymed. Come on, bruv. What are we doing?
After you haven't
released
brought
it
an album.
for time. Like, I know you're rhyming for Katt Williams, bruv. Relax. This is what I'm saying.
Do you know how I know that we sometimes we think alike?
It's that. It's
Do you
100%.
do you see how we came to the same the same
100%.
statement? Like, bruh, you haven't even released nothing. What you doing?
What we doing up whole bars in the studio with the chain on and the bruv,
It's like Luda.
fresh
Luda,
cane
we know
rose.
you-
Like, he did the most. Bruv, relax.
Like Luda, we know you ain't been in the studio for a very long time.
on,
Who
man.
did you call to
write
he
those
had to call
bars?
someone
Yeah,
and be like,
someone else wrote those bars. That's Chat GPT. I bet you £10. If I go
surprised-
Chat GPT, I say, write me bars about Katt Williams from Ludacris' perspective. What he just said is what I'm gonna get.
pretty much.
With check your,
Because he said
check
some and you know, like back in the day, like Luda's bars were like
They were on fire.
Yeah. He was like, something Illuminati nice, the Ludanati.
I said,
like,
bruv,
nah,
relax,
nah,
relax. bruv.
Shouldn't you be studying the script
I
somewhere?
said, bruv,
I don't know
relax.
why. You need to be go back and study the script for the next
Fast and Furious, bruv.
Fast and Furious 25 or whatever,
You know?
how many that you've done now. Like,
Come
go
on.
study that. Like, what's this?
Collect the
Like,
$2 million per
please.
film and relax.
And just like, it is what it is. It's cool. You did what you had to do to get the role. Like, it's fine.
The
It's actually okay.
Illuminati, the Kane Rose, the fresh, come on, bruv,
I can't lie to you. The Ludanite thing, I was like, that threw
I said
me
dead.
off. I was like, this is like,
But this harks
anyway,
back to
not to label
Andre.
the point. Not to label the
No,
point.
it's the truth. But this harks back to Andre 3000 saying, I feel too old to rap. That was giving you're too old to rap, bro. What are we doing? You're rapping.
Luda was giving in that video was giving, you know, when you go to like, I mean, we wouldn't go, but imagine like, you know, when we were younger, we were in like them 18 to 25 clubs, and you've got them over 30 uncles there trying to like, yeah,
Trying to
that's
still
what
be
Luda
young
was
with the
giving.
thing. But
Come on, man, go and sit down.
He was giving back in my day. This is how we used to deal with the problem, bro. That's not the day anymore. It's not the day anymore. It's not that day anymore. Ridiculous.
Do it like this. Wait. Ludanati, innit?
Ridiculous, bruv. Get out of here. This is not how you check your temperature.
The shape up was Crystal, so obviously you had to show the jawline.
This is
so
what
you
I'm
can see
saying. You know that the
Yeah.
day before, whenever Katt said that, you know that the shape up was not Chris.
He was in the barber immediately.
Those Kane Rose
And at the same-
were hair perfect.
At the same time, he had to holler at someone to be like, I don't know where a studio is anymore because I ain't recorded in donkeys years.
Damn.
So can you tell me like
Who's the plug?
GPS? Who's the plug? Send me a postcode or something. Because I need to be acting like I'm still in the studio.
Nah, that was the
Ridiculous.
dumbest.
Anyway,
But this is the thing.
talking about,
They don't know what going on. Now go on.
I was gonna segue into next beef.
Do it.
To next beef, but this
Lord
one,
have mercy.
these two actually have been in a studio for a long time.
Well, they've been active.
recently.
They've been active
They've been more active than Ludo anyway.
in the last 10 years. Jesus Christ.
Ludo Nighty, I'll never forget. Anyway,
What a dead bar.
Jada Kingdom and SteffLon.
The gal them repping J.A.
Okay, context.
It was Nigel Willie.
SteffLon.
Sorry. That's the context. Sorry, go on. Sorry, you can elaborate. It's fine. I just wanted to do cliff notes real quick.
SteffLon was dating Burna Boy. I need to stop saying her name like that. I'm taking a minute. SteffLon was dating Burna Boy and they broke up. Burna Boy chopped breakfast. SteffLon did a diss track response. Allegations were made. We thought these two would never ever get back together. In the time that they were broken up, Burna did a ting with Jada Kingdom, innit? Obviously, it was just a ting. He bought her a Birkin or however many Birkins he bought her, flew there here, flew there, whatever. As these rich men do when they're dating a chick or seeing a chick or clarting a chick, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, next thing you know, SteffLon and Burna decide to spin the block because it's the season of spinning the block lately. And they're back together. What does SteffLon do? She releases a track. What does she do? She refers to Twinkie. That's what she refers to. She says a bar relating to Twinkie. Twinkie is somehow affiliated with Jada in it. So Jada clocks that she's trying to diss me. So Jada on Instagram's like, on her stories like, so you're trying to send for me. SteffLon's like, if the shoe fits, wear it. So Jada does a diss track in response. Now, Burna's a bad boy because in one of his songs, in one of the remixes he's done, he actually references Jada's pom-poms, her pums, and says it's the best. He basically says it's the best pums
that he ever
in
did
Kingston.
See.
Or that he ever, whatever. But all I heard
he said
was
best pums in Kingston. That's
best pum. I mean,
that's a fair lyric because Steph can't complain.
I think he said Kingston. I might be wrong. He might have just said best pums, right? Jada sampled that line from that song as the backing track of her diss track in response to SteffLon. Bearing in mind, SteffLon is still with this guy. Okay, cool. Basically brings up the fact that she basically disses SteffLon. She disses her mom, her sister, calls her brother a pedo. She's Jamaican born and raised, isn't it? Like she's not doing things halfway. She's gonna really
full clarting.
Full force. Like you can't have chat for me. Like come from Jamaica, Kingston, that stuff. Cool. SteffLon, as of now, she's teasing out a response track. She did a flyer basically saying R.I.P. to Jada Kingdom, saying how she's slept with everyone and she's basically community pums. That's basically what Steph's saying. And as we're recording it today, Jada's response is, okay, but I told you that already. Like,
yeah. She was like,
you can't shame me because
I done told you.
Saying, like, I told you that's what I'm about. Like, what are you saying? Some other things that Jada said in her diss track was that she basically did that thing that young girls do when they try and cuss older women, that listen, you're too old for this, like leave it. She also said, because Steph said that she wanted to bang or clot Jada. So Jada's now inquiring, like, when are you gonna come and beef? Like, when you gonna come and do the thing type thing? Like, it was baiting, innit? So yeah, that's what's going on. But yeah, you're right. It's over Nigel Willie. Essentially, Burna Boy's been silent.
Yeah, I need to say that he did all the talking by just beating them two, and then this his was is what they. That's him. His market is certified for life. That guy can leave both of them women and basically capture any woman who wants good, because that's what that is an advert for. My thing will have you beefing women from other countries. That's essentially what the advert is. That's how I would sell it if that was me.
Okay, cool. So
I'd be like, you want to beef women from the Philippines? Come get in bed with me, and you'll beef women from the Philippines.
Do you know how classless I know this whole thing is?
It's definitely classless. It's
You
dumb.
will never catch me beefing over no man. I don't care.
You haven't had Burna.
Especially if the same man is he's recorded a track. The track is out there. And it's not any track. It was a top performing track in the charts. Right? It's on record that you've said that this other woman's pums,
your enemy,
is the best pums.
Wild. It's wild. I didn't realize them two were together though.
Do you think, first of all, I wouldn't circle back anyway, because we chopped breakfast. We chopped breakfast at this point. What? So what? Like why?
So today they're together.
Cool.
They're together today.
They're
mad.
together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
That's why Steph's doing all of this, because it's her man. She even talks about it in the song. Like, it's her man. That's my man. You think because you clotted my man? That's basically. I mean, my understanding of patois is not the best, but I understand it quite a bit. And I clocked the line where Steph was like, okay, so what? You clotted my man, so what? But my man will always come back to me because at the end of the day, I don't have community pums. I'm still a tight pussy gal.
No, but you know what the thing is? How can you...
There's only one man to my pum. One man to my
But
pum.
you can't really claim... You know, the thing is, if your man is saying a girl with community pums has a better pums than you...
I know where you're going with
You
this.
see what I'm saying? It's a tough claim to now you try and talk about your pums when community.
This is what I'm trying to say. Just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. This is what I'm saying. That's why I said it's classless. You wouldn't. Venom, I swear to you, you would never catch me. If I circle back to my man after my man has done something like that, you will never hear me talk about my relationship ever again. That relationship will be private, and I'm not beefing no girls about him because he's already embarrassed me. So why am I gonna make it worse? I don't even blame Jada for this at this point. Like, Steph is asking for it.
Yeah.
Steph's alleging that Jada's been baiting her for time, like, you know, getting at her for time. But the classy thing to do would be, well, I got the man in it, so...
Definitely.
Keep
but
quiet.
The class is not there. The class is MIA.
So, your own man that you're probably lying next to whilst you're doing beef back and forth. You're lying in bed. You're getting riled up listening to the diss track that Jada did wrote for you. Yeah, you're probably sitting right next to Burner when you're listening to it. That same guy is on the sample that the girl used to diss you. Talking about her pom pom is the best. Nah, you couldn't. It could never be me. It could never, ever, ever. This one, you know, normally it's not good to say it can never be me. Because you just don't know what life could do to you.
Nah.
But this one, it can never be me. It can never be... Me and Pride. God forgive me.
He's definitely claimed it, though. He's officially the Gallus. Like, officially.
But he's a Nigerian man. So I don't understand why people are surprised.
No, but he's like... I feel like he superseded, like, Shabba Ranks status. Like, I think he is the new Shabba Ranks.
I don't think you understand. He's a Nigerian man. I get it. Shabba Ranks is Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
So you just like the stereotype. Not that I agree with it, but the stereotype is Jamaican men are galluses, in it. Like they don't stay in one place. Okay, cool. But did you think Nigerian men stayed in one place?
No, that's not that. Any
Nigerian men are the Jamaican men of Africa. Like I don't understand. Them lot the same. They're the same level of Gallicism.
Oh, wow.
Same level of Gallicism. I'm telling you that for free. I'm not even surprised there's two girls beefing this hard over a Niger man.
Not
I'm
famous,
not surprised.
man. It's like, where
Over
is
Niger
your
Willie.
decorum?
I've always been that way. Even in school, if I found out that if I was talking to a guy and I found out one of my friends liked the guy, I'm like,
yeah, deuces, it's done. Yeah.
I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm not trying to be fighting over no man.
That's what we do. That's the bro code too.
I'm not fighting over no man. I'm not doing that. That's disgusting behavior. A whole me where there's another man. There's other men. He's not the only man that's... Nah. Can never be me. Sorry, but I feel like Steph should have sat down.
She shouldn't have done it.
She shouldn't have done it. She should have just sat
I
down.
don't think she can win because she's already won. So she put herself in a losing position by entertaining it because she wanted the man, she has the man.
She's got
so
the man.
anything after that, you're actually taking the L.
Quietly enjoy your Niger Willie. Quietly. There's no need. He bought her a Rolls Royce or whatever. What did he buy her? He bought her a car recently.
Yeah, I saw that. But I didn't...
Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it and just...
I didn't know who bought that. I didn't realize they were still together.
Not now. The same girl that he was clarting when you broke up, that he was singing about in the track, is now used... Nah, I can't get... Do you know what? That's the bit I can't get over. I can't
that level of inception is legendary. You're not going to beat that.
She's lost
you're not going to beat that.
There's no comeback from that. And again... Jada's right. There's no point you going on about the fact that I've got community pums because I've been saying that. Like if someone is you can't disarm someone with something that they've already like
put
owned.
out there, yeah.
Like I've put it out there and I've owned it. So you can't now try and use that to like make digs at me because I already told you. So what now? So what else can you say that I haven't already said? And on top of that, as much as I've been ran through, like you're saying, your man still thinks that mine is the better than yours. You're talking about how your pom pom's tight.
That's what I'm saying.
But mine is still better than yours. She don't like.
That's the part
And
where
I'll tell you, no girl can tell me that. You know, I would never put myself in a position where a girl has the opportunity to be coming to tell me that. There's no way. There's no way.
that's just not online in public level of conversation that people should be having.
It shouldn't be had at all. Because the way I see it is this, yeah. You know why you and this guy broke up. You broke up for a certain amount of time. It's not a secret that this guy was enjoying his life
About the town.
whilst you lot broke up. There was words that were said. You used to exchange words. Them two were when they broke up. They was beefing each other the way she
Yeah.
She was beefing Burner the way she's beefing Jada right now. Okay, that's probably what fueled Burner to say what he said about Jada in the track in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying? Fine. Me personally, I wouldn't have taken him back. There's no coming back from that. You've disrespected me enough. There's no. Do you know what I'm saying? But you didn't find shame. You went back there. So already from there, you've actually lost. You've not won anything. Because is that the man you're trying to say that you won? You didn't win. That's how I see it. But okay. So let's say out of fluke, out of a momentary lapse of logic, I decide to go back with this guy. Believe me, I'm going to be so quiet. They're back together, but nobody knows their business. I'm not going to be talking about getting at any of the girls that he was sleeping with. You look stupid. She looks, to me, Steph looks silly in this situation. Because it's one thing to fight about a man, but it's another thing, like thinking about the situation surrounding the whole thing. You should have just taken him back quietly, very, very quietly. Like we're back together now. That's it.
I mean, even other people jumped in the ring with them. You had Sean Paul jumping in, giving his advice as to how he thinks they should be conducting themselves.
Yeah, he was just like, girls, this is it, you know.
He said it's
like,
unbecoming.
Yeah, unbecoming. Didn't even know he knew us like that.
He didn't, but I'm surmising what he said.
Okay, yeah, because he was like his daughter listens and
said he likes you all, and this is not the way.
Steph tried to play it off like, oh, it's not that deep. It's just a bit of banter or whatever.
He said no.
And he said no.
He said no, it's not that. It's not that.
No.
He said.
Do you know what's interesting though? Because we've not spoken for ages. Week before Christmas, I don't know if you've even seen it because this video went viral. I did a video on TikTok talking about my experience.
Not TikTok.
No, it even went to Instagram.
Okay,
that's why I'm like, you might have seen it. People found it, well, it went viral on TikTok, and then various different blog spaces were posted it on Instagram. And I was like, damn. I tried to keep both platforms very separate. And then I had people following me on it. Now I've got an increase of followers on Instagram off the back of this video.
Yeah.
I basically spoke about the experience of being a British-born Nigerian and how it can often feel like you're not accepted by your own people. And you're also not really accepted here in the UK either because we're black. And I was saying how it was all, the catalyst was a few influencers went back to Nigeria for Dirty December, and one of them in particular was speaking Yoruba, but her Yoruba is not that good because she doesn't really speak it. So, and you know, in the comments people were encouraging her and praising her for trying, but then there was also just as many people trolling her, taking the mic. People went on on Twitter and were just like, oh, come and see these like British Nigerian lot, like they can't even speak the language, it's hurting my ears, like just taking the mic. That riled me up. So I did a video saying like, you lot need to understand that most of us, our parents weren't speaking to us in our mother tongue as though it was our first language. Our first language is English. If we're like just kind of trying to get them to understand our perspective, that we know that we don't belong here because we feel it all the time, and then you go home or you try and be immersed in the culture and they make it very clear to you that you're not
one of them.
You're not doing it right. You're not one of. So it's like, where do I fit? This video went viral. I had the idea of doing this video for weeks, but I just didn't do the video and post it, if that makes sense. And then one evening I was like, I'm just gonna say what I want to say, post it. Didn't think the video would go anywhere. I think I had like 4,000 followers at the time, so I didn't really think it was gonna go anywhere. This video is almost on 1 million views.
Oh, sick.
It's got like almost 200,000 likes. The comments are still, even right now, it's that video. Every time I see my notifications, it's always that video. Like, people are still interacting with it. And it's been a good 2-3 weeks now. But a lot of people were coming out in the comments saying, yeah, I relate. I can relate to that. That's happened to me. That's happened to me. But it wasn't just Nigerians. It was people from all over Africa saying, listen, it's not just a Nigerian thing. It happens to us as well. I'm from Congo. It happened to me. I'm from Sierra Leone. It happened to me. I'm from Ghana. It happened to me. Like, people were saying that. The reason why I brought this up is because that same narrative of British born versus homegrown, that argument has been rebirthed in this conversation about Jada and Steph. Because on TikTok, off the back of like Jada releasing her diss track, quite a few creators on TikTok that I've seen talking about it and giving their opinion, especially those from Jamaica, were like, SteffLon is a British-born Jamaican thinking that she can talk to a Jamaican. Mm-hmm. Like, of course the Jamaican is gonna, do you know what I mean? And it reminded me of what I was saying, in that when you're British born, the homegrowns always make you feel like you ain't one of us. Like, you ain't got the sauce, because you're not. You know, and it's just interesting. It kind of highlighted that, okay, yeah, it definitely isn't just a Nigerian thing. It's like there's always this competition when really we should just be seen as the same.
But we're not though. We're not the same.
We're not the same. But we're part. But we're more part of it. Them.
I think the problem.
We're more part of them than part
not in all circumstances. Like I agree with what you're saying, and I would also say that that's not the case in every circumstance where, like, someone, let's say for example like me, a British-born Nigerian who can't even speak Yoruba, goes to Nigeria. Some people will make me feel like, he's British-born, or he can't even speak the language. And some people are like, yeah, come home, come and learn, come and, you know what I mean?
Well, that's always the thing. It's not always.
So with Steph and Jada, I think the real content, because I think Jamaicans are actually quite, it does still exist for sure, but I think they're also quite patriotic in a you're one of us kind of way, even if you're English. But because she's trying to step to her, is why they're like, relax. That's why.
But what I'm trying to say is that shouldn't even be part of the conversation. The part of the conversation should have been what we just had, which is, girl, fan shame. Your man is the one that caused all of this. Go and talk to your man.
You know what it is?
You coming for Jada? Yeah. Talk to your man. That's what the conversation. That's what the conversation should be.
I agree.
Rather than, yeah, but she's a British-born Jamaican.
You know what? It's because she always puts on the accent and all of that. Like Steph does the most. Like, she puts on the accent. She does the most.
Yeah, but do you know why I relate to that? Because I'm British-born Nigerian. I don't put on the accent. The accent just happens. Like, I switch. And I do it on this podcast all the time.
Yeah.
It depends on the emotion that I'm feeling, that will determine if I'm gonna jump into the African accent or not. That's not acting. It's part of who I am. Because I am a Nigerian. Do you get it? And like, so it's kind of, I don't know, man.
When I hear Steph and she does it feels put on. It
feels that way, but you would never know if it. Like, at the end of the day, she is a Jamaican. She's Jamaican at the end of the day, so there's no such thing as putting it on. That's the way I see it is, as a Nigerian, I'm not putting on anything. I'm being who I am, which is a Nigerian. Just a Nigerian that was born and raised in the UK. That's the only thing. But I'm still a Nigerian.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it detracts from who you are, but I feel like some people have it.
So I have every right to use the accent if I want to. That's because it's my birthright as a Nigerian. It's the same thing. That's how I feel about it. I'm sorry. Like,
You're entitled to your
You might
feelings.
think you might feel like it's being put on and she shouldn't do that, but she can, because she is Jamaican. Like, if she was, she's not. Basically, what I'm saying is she's not culture appropriating, because that is
Okay,
her
so that's
culture.
kind of what it feels like, though.
But it can feel like that all it wants to, but she can't culture appropriate if that is her culture. She's Jamaican.
I don't know.
Do you know the SteffLon that pisses me off when she tries to do like she's had a couple of songs that sound Afrobeaty.
Yeah, where she's trying to give it a bit of broken
And I'm
English
like-
kind of vibe. I mean, she
I'm like, just
got a
because
lot of
you're-
Nigerian in her.
Listen, just because you're dealing with Nigerian peen, don't mean that you could try and be doing a Tiwa Savage.
Bars.
Go and sit down.
Bars.
Go
Luda.
and sit.
She needs to check her
Let me
temperature.
check my temperature. Check my temperature with this Luda nighty.
Luda naughty.
But like, yeah, like it's like sit, and I feel the same way, because when Burner first started like singing, he was culture appropriating the Caribbean up and down. Like, most of his songs sounded like,
Yeah, like he might have been a yard man.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it sounded very because he was speaking like
Yeah, he was dropping definitely dropping patois in
dropping
there.
like-
Yeah, for sure.
dropping patois, and his songs were sounding like rhythms, not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was giving. I don't like that. I'm very much a be authentic to your actual culture. I don't like all that culture appropriation. It's the same reason why I don't like. And I've said this before. It might sound bad, but I don't like it when Caucasians jump on Afrobeat tracks, because I'm just like, that's not your genre. Stay in your lane. Like, I'm fine with anyone doing rock, R&B, hip hop. Even hip hop, I'm a bit, but it's fine. It's become commercialized to the point where it's any culture can have hip hop within their culture. Any country can have hip hop within their culture. If you have a Nigerian that starts rapping and they're rapping in their tribal language, it's still rapping in the language. That means it's rap. It's not. Do you get it? That's fine. But you see music that is like culture music, like traditional music. So, for example, like Bangra, I don't want to see a black person doing a Bangra track. What are you doing? That's not. I don't like that. I think that's what cultural appropriation is, and that rubs me up the wrong way. So when SteffLon is there doing what's that song? I could be your sugar dumpling, whatever she's saying. She's all singing Yoruba. Kilo de baby.
Oh no, I ain't heard
I heard it. I'm like, who do you think you are singing in Yoruba? Because you're having Naija peen? No. She's like, Kilo de baby, or something like that. I'm like, sit down, please.
I haven't heard
Please,
it,
please,
but
please.
I don't know.
I'll send you the name of the track. I can't remember the name of the track, but the song sounded Afrobeat, and she was singing in Yoruba. And I said to myself, "What? Because you've won a few Ashoebi, you think you can be singing in Yoruba just like that?"
I mean, at the same time, it's the culture is embracing all of its people. You know what I mean? It's a tricky one.
Yes, you're right. That's cool. I think
It's a tricky
don't
one.
know.
It's a tricky one.
It's a very tricky one. It's a very tricky one. But your culture has its own like genre of music. Why not stick to that? Why are you trying to, because you're dating a Nigerian doesn't mean that. And I would have said that about any.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
If she was dating, do you know what I mean? If she was dating a Asian person, or no, Indian person, for example, and then she's there doing up cultural appropriating Indian music, I would have said the same thing. Sis, like, go and stay in your lane. You're Jamaican. You were doing, why you were doing dance hall before, or do you know what I mean? You were doing rhythms before. Stick to that. Don't try and cross over.
I mean, Afrobeats is the sound, though. You know what I mean? It's the sound.
Right now, yeah.
So.
But you lot didn't want to F with us in 08.
Yeah, but it's not 08 anymore.
I don't care.
Not
You didn't
08
want
anymore.
to. back then it wasn't cool to be African. It wasn't cool.
And now it's cool.
Now you lot. Now, well, like, okay, well, now Jada Kingdom's telling you that your man said that her pom pom's the best pom pom,
And she brought her right back to the dance hall. See it there.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
So that's what she's dealing with. That's what she had to deal with. See, I can speak Jamaican.
Are you Jamaican? No.
I can speak it though. You get me? It's not cultural appropriation. It's because I got the man them in the end, so I know a little two words. You get me?
To be fair, a lot of slang, London slang, is influenced by patois. So you know, like, fair enough, but
that's what I'm saying. But that's from our day. But now a lot of culture is influenced. Anyway, always a lot of culture is influenced by music, and the sound in our day was bashment, dancehall, reggae, and now it's not. So you have to allow people their little in, because that's the same in that we had.
I hear it, but remember I just said, even when Burner was doing his little bashment, whatever it was genre that he was trying to do when he was breaking, I didn't like it. I was like, bruh,
yeah,
you're a Nigerian man. It's not like you're mixed. You're Nigerian through and through.
Yeah, through and through.
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Knife crime.
I think you're gonna have to take the helm on this one, because I don't know the details too tough of the new campaign.
I thought you said you listened or watched.
Oh, I watched some of the interview, but like not.
Yeah.
I ain't got it verbatim. But our guy, my twin, Mr. Idris Elba, he's now fix the face. No, we're gonna keep going, but fix the face.
No.
Actually, fix the face. Have you seen him? Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Have you seen the body?
Yeah. Yeah, but I've seen you as well. So how you?
There we go.
But hold on. But you didn't answer. No, you didn't answer my question.
What was your question?
How are you twins?
We're twins. That's just how it goes. You ever heard of twins?
Am
I really explaining twins?
Hold on. Were you born on the same day? Is that what you mean by
Nah, we're twins.
So if you're not born on the same day, how are you twins, please?
Just one of them things, and it's like a miracle. But
but wait, are you trying to say that because are you trying to say that your body is like?
I'm trying to say the whole package. I'm trying to say the whole package. This is,
you know what,
this is Lufa.
You know what?
This is Lufa right here. Do you understand? Haters gonna hate, but you're looking at twin right now, yeah? And my twin, Idris Elba, he has been an advocate for Stop the Knife Violence in the UK. You need to fix his face, you know. Stop the Knife Violence in the UK. I believe that's what it's called. Don't stop your life, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he's been pushing this for a minute. Maybe the last that I've been following, maybe the last 5 years or so. And he just reinvigorated his campaign with a new song, and he was outside the Houses of Parliament, and he just had like piles of clothes neatly placed of all of the knife crime violent victims. I'm not sure what the time period was. I thought it was this year, but it can't be this year, because there was a lot of piles of clothes.
I think it was last year.
Okay, it was last year. That makes more sense, because there were a lot of piles of clothes, and then he just was explaining how the government need to be seen to be doing something about it, because it's a problem and it's just not being addressed. And he was talking about maybe if they stopped allowing the import of zombie knives, even though it wouldn't solve the problem, it would show that there's at least some effort being paid towards trying to solve this issue. And he also explained that it's not a black issue. But obviously, when you see a black man talking about knife crime, you just assume
it's a class issue.
But it's a class issue, and it affects way more white people up and down this country than anyone would care to believe. Especially if you're watching the news in London, you're just going to assume it's just a London issue, but it's far from it. Far from it.
He did a interview with Capital Extra. And they asked him, what do you want the government to do? Like, what is it that you want them to do? And he said that he wants them to act as quickly as they did when they were looking at the XL bully.
Yeah.
He was like, they they acted on that ASAP, like so quick. They were like, "Yep, we're gonna ban them." And within how long that was put
Yeah, like a
through
couple
Parliament,
months. Yeah,
that was, if that, put through Parliament, accepted, done, and now XL bullies they're banned now.
Yeah.
Like you can't
illegal to own,
you
to
can't
breed,
breed. Yeah, you can't breed them. If you're gonna own them, they've got to wear
muzzle.
the muzzle and stuff like that. So like he's like, if you could do that quickly, then what are you doing with this knife crime? Like you've just left it. And I think the reason why he brought up the ethnicity thing is because of the assumption and the perception that it's mainly the black community.
Yeah.
He didn't say it, but you know one thing I like about Idris, I mean, he's been in the industry for long enough that he knows how to articulate himself in a way that doesn't sound like he is attacking anyone or blaming anyone. You know, I mean, he's been there for a long time, so he knows how to articulate himself in this space. But I got the sense of I need to make people aware that it's not just the black community, because when it's considered as a black issue, it's not dealt with. So I feel like that's the vibe I was getting. But one thing he did say expressly was, I'm not placing blame on anyone. I'm just saying that something needs to be done. Like, I don't want the government to think that we're saying that you lot have allowed this to happen or you lot are not doing enough or whatever. I'm just saying that something needs to be done. Like we need to move, and we need to move quickly because we're losing a lot of children.
Yeah, a lot of children.
Yeah,
a lot.
So
but I kind of do feel like they are letting. I know he's not placing the blame, but I feel like
he doesn't want to do that.
I think I am. Because I'm twin, you get me? So I can do what twins not doing. I'll say that they are, because the reason, the XL bully thing, I don't think that hurts the government in any way. Like, the dog's done a couple violent acts, people have been hurt, whatever. You do the data and you can see there's a correlation between attacks on humans and the dog breed being XL bully. Cool. More time if people are breeding XL bullies, they're not paying taxes on the sale. More time if people are buying XL bullies, they're not paying taxes on the sale. So the government's not making any money from XL bullies being here anyway. So if they ban it or not, it doesn't affect their bottom line. You look at zombie knives or knives in general, as in violent artistic knives, not domestic kitchen knives. Most of them are being imported. They're not made here. So that's all import tax. All of that money is going through the system. The government benefits from that money. So when you think like, oh, why are they so quick to act on one thing versus another? You're like, well, they made no money on XL bullies. Like, getting rid of XL bullies, this is just a service to the community to make them think that you're doing something, but it doesn't affect the government's pocket which way.
In any way. Yeah, you make a very good point about that. And it's a refreshing point, because most people will be saying, not that they have, but I'm presuming that in this conversation, a lot of people will be talking about how, oh, you know, black community, institutional racism, blah, blah, blah. But the point that you make is very, I think, is valid. I think that there's more. I talk about onions a lot and layers. I feel like there's a collective blame here, not just the government, you know.
Oh yeah, it's not the government stabbing people or encouraging people to buy knives. That's for sure.
Or yeah, but I do think that aside from the whole importing these weapons, I think if the government did a bit more at trying to level out the classes and not making it so difficult for the working class to get by, then that would have a direct positive impact on the children that are brought up in those class systems. Because people can easily say, but the parents, but these parents more time are working long hour jobs, menial jobs to try and make money to get by they don't have the facilities to watch the kids as much as they would like to, which means the kids are out in the streets or trying to find their own way to entertain themselves. Also within the working class community, you're more likely to see a lot of single parenthood, a lot of like people on benefits, stuff like all that stuff. All of that collectively impacts the young people in the community and what they have access to and how they view the world. And so it's more than just the government.
No, but I think that goes back to the government, because I think that
but that's what I said, because I already said that if the government spent more time and more care around
it's access. It is access. Yeah.
If they spent, I don't want to say like doing handouts. I definitely don't want to say
that, man.
As a taxpayer, I don't actually believe that. I don't know where I sit. If I was to vote, I don't know where I would vote, because I feel like, not to go into politics too much, but I don't know where I would vote, because I do have some conservative beliefs. If I'm going to be
same,
honest. I'm very transparent, and I have a lot of Labour beliefs as well. I don't believe in handouts. But at the same time, I don't believe in handouts because I know that I worked hard to get to where I got to, and because of that, my taxes will now be paying towards these handouts for some people that are capable but choose not to. Why should I foot the bill? So that's where my conservative beliefs. That's the long of the short of my conservative beliefs are. But at the same time, I do feel like the government, that it's not my job to figure out how they do what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's their job. Yeah. That's why they're there. That's why they get paid that amount of money. That's why they have those benefits. That's why they have all those allowances. So they can sit in rooms and think, okay, how can we level out the classes? Like we've got, and the divide between the working class and the middle class and the higher class is just getting wider and wider and wider. Yeah. You've got middle class people that were just on the cusp of middle class now going into working class because of cost of living. So it's a really volatile time right now, and it's the government's responsibility to do something so that these people have resource, have access, have a chance at a better life.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. I think the government
if they haven't, it's because they haven't done that. It's
more that they've undone it, because when we were teenagers in school or even after school, there was an abundance of activities available for us to partake in that was subsidized by the government. Obviously, Labour was in power. We had a plethora of youth centres open, after school activities and clubs.
I used to go.
Scouts, brownies, all that kind of stuff. Most of that is gone. So I know a lot of the time people think it's the parents aren't looking after the kids, I would even argue and say that when we were kids, the parents weren't looking after us. We were looking after ourselves in places that were made available to entertain us during the hours that we weren't schooling.
We weren't even looking after ourselves. We had there would be people had, I went to an after school club, and it was full of teachers or teaching assistants who were watching over us. So even though it's not necessarily the school, but it was right next to my school, there was this
building,
community center, and I would just literally come out of the school gate, I'm in the community center, do arts, do crafts, play games. It was a fun place to be. And then when my mum's done at work or my dad's, they'll come and pick us up, come and pick me up. If I didn't go to the childminder, that's where I would be. So I get what you're saying. I hear that. And that's why I said, without being specific around what the government took away or could bring back or could put in place, the government need to do something about the class systems in the UK, because that's where it starts. If there is a way that we can kind of blur the lines between, reduce the gap between the different classes and make if there was a way to do that, I feel like it would open up resource, open up opportunity for people in the working class, so that they're not fighting, because they're in survival mode. And a lot of them are disgruntled and disenfranchised with the country, with the institution, like with schools, with work. Like a lot of them are. Do you get what I mean? There's a lot of anger there. And that's
I just
why
don't think that
you've got all this
exclusive to working class. The issues around knife crime.
the knife crime. What are you trying to say? There's middle class and high class.
I wouldn't say higher or upper class, but I definitely say middle class as well. Yeah.
But that's why I spoke about there's middle class people that technically are middle class, but they sit on the cusp. And they sit on the cusp of working class. I would have said that when I was growing up, my family, my parents, we were in the middle class bracket, but we were on the cusp. To be honest, we were on the cusp. Like the things that made us middle class was the fact that my parents had more than one property. You know, they were in a certain pay bracket. Are in a certain pay bracket. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't eligible for EMA
either.
And stuff like that.
I shrugged woe is me. Woe is me.
My friends were getting
£30 a week.
£30 a week.
Mad thing.
And we couldn't afford it. I mean, it kind of used to piss.
It definitely used to
not
piss
that we
me
couldn't
off.
afford it. Not that we couldn't afford it. We weren't eligible, and it used to piss my dad off because he was like, these kids, like my dad was giving me £10 a week as my lunch money for school. These kids were getting 3 times the amount, but they're just because their parents are not in a certain pay bracket or whatever, and so they are in the working class, but we were on the cusp of the middle class bracket. So technically, we're making good money, but not enough for us to not.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
It wasn't easy. Like we still struggled a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
I know exactly what you're saying.
And then I had friends that were getting their £30 a week because
for showing
they
up.
attended school, just for showing up. And they were able to afford stuff I couldn't afford, despite the fact that my parents were technically
that put me in work.
Class.
I was working because I'm watching people with money, and I'm like, bruh, I ain't got money. I can't get EMA, so I'm now working, getting underpaid, which is a whole next stress.
I started working when I was like 19, like just before uni.
Boy.
I started working
16.
I started working I was in retail. And then I kept that job through in uni, but yeah, like so you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, like those are the people that I would say in the middle class bracket that it could affect, because technically you're middle class, but technically you're not at the same time. But again, I still think that they need to kind of find a way to like merge the class. It should be one class. That's the ideal.
That ain't happening.
That ain't happening. That's very
that's
communist.
I was gonna say that's communist. That's my belief system. I've not seen a way to implement it that looks good, that would be acceptable in the West. But that's how I'm like, if I was gonna make a society, 100%, I'm doing exactly like that.
I don't know if I would want to use the word communist because the word communist has bad rep.
Yeah, it has this.
Immediately start thinking of places like Russia when you think communist, or you start
dictatorship,
thinking of like, North Korea.
And
I don't want to. But
that's how I would run it.
That is
what
we've got
that's
here.
how I would run it. This ain't
consumerism.
Nah, this is democracy, and this is dead.
This is dead.
Because it ain't. You know what I mean? But
it's not giving. But you know, like yeah. I don't know who to blame more. I feel like it's just like I said, it's an onion. There's layers
to it. There's a lot of layers.
And when you think about it sociologically, there's so many different moving parts. As with most things, there's loads of moving parts that impact the outcomes that we're seeing right now. The least they can do is to ban the import of these weapons.
Yeah, of weapons for sure. For sure.
100%. But also they could probably carve out a bit more budget for the few charities and organizations that work to get these weapons off the street. You know, there's this guy, I can't remember his name, but there's this man, this black guy who
Farrell.
You know who I'm going to talk about?
Yeah.
He does it independently.
Yeah.
Like when he hears there's been a stabbing or something,
it's Farrell, something Farrell.
I think that the police know him as well.
Yeah,
like,
and he gets pulled over because he's black.
Yeah,
he
all
does
the time.
these
But then
drops and he arranges with police to come and drop them the knife, and then other police still stop him and treat him like a criminal.
Yeah. Crazy. But I see him as almost like a vigilante. Like, you know, like when you watch like what's it? Recently I started watching Luke Cage again.
Oh, yeah?
On Disney. And it kind of reminds me of that. You know what I mean? Like someone that's like, they're not part of the legal system. They're not part of like
they're just doing it. They're just trying to help.
Off their own back, they're just trying to make the community a better place.
Yep.
That type thing. Like almost like them type of heroes there. So yeah, like I
he's
feel
that
like
guy,
that's
man. He's the guy.
he is. It's just Elba's giving those vibes now, to be fair.
Yeah, Idris is doing it in his own way. Everyone's got to have their stance, and he can't go too hard because he's an actor, and obviously the government are able to influence. You know what I mean? It goes both ways. So he can only be suggestive, and you know what I mean, they can do what they do. But in terms of the weapons, man, that the import of weapons. So why I hear what he's saying, and then I also realize that it's never gonna happen, as in they're not even gonna stop zombie knives, is because low key, if you think about it, there's illegal guns. Like this country, you're not allowed to have firearms. There's certain arms you are allowed to have. You are allowed to hunt. There's certain arms you are allowed to have. But there's people out here with Berettas, 9mm, revolvers. These are things that are not legal in this country. People have those. So if people have those, how the hell are they gonna stop things that you're allowed to have? Like it's just countries that are a mess.
But I think the cause of contention with the knives thing is we're seeing like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds with these scarily looking knives. I don't think we've really heard of kids that age carrying guns.
Haven't, because guns are expensive. Whereas the kids can order these knives themselves.
It's grown.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's grown men have these knives, guns.
Yeah, more time, or they will give it to a younger person.
Or grown women have. Do you know what I mean? Right.
But but the knife thing is definitely
the knife thing.
Yeah.
Then because I saw someone tweeted or something like that the other day, and he was like, I was just walking down Ilford, and I just seen some 13-year-old carrying a machete. And it was like, and I was like, whoa. And the thing is, obviously it's been a long time since I was like under 16.
Mm.
But when I think back to that, because I grew up around them areas, like when we moved from Hackney, we moved to that side of Essex, not Ilford. Like I was in Chigwell side.
Yeah.
So, but Ilford was a bus ride away. Like I could take a direct bus from where I was straight into Ilford. And if I wanted to go to a shopping centre, I was going to Ilford. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
So like when I was hanging out with my friends, like going cinema and stuff, we were going to the cinema in Ilford. That was the spot for us to chill when I was 16. So I'm thinking, if I was like, I can't imagine being that young
and then seeing that,
and there's people like that's crazy to me.
It's a changed time. To me. And the thing is, even over the Christmas break, right? Me. After, I think it might have been Boxing Day, or it might have been the day after. I seen 2 different altercations with young people, and just on my high street, there was these young boys chasing another boy, and that boy. So the direction I was coming from, I saw the boy who was being chased first. He ran past me, and then a good 10 seconds later, I see the people chasing him. So I didn't clock from his run that he was running for his life. But once I saw them, man, I was like, nah, you need to keep running. And they didn't have nothing drawn, but I knew what time it was. All ballied up. These were kids. And I said, guys, it was Christmas 2 days ago. You mean to tell me you got presents, you got your money, you went to JD Sports, bought a bally, and now you're back on the roads like it's gliding time. Nah, bruv, relax. But when you don't know nothing like that, no role models, no spaces to be in, no. But
in our generation, we had Sorry to interrupt you, but in our generation, there was knife crime in our generation. Like, I mean, look at like there was young people dying on the street, like Damilola Taylor that was like attacked.
Okay, Damilola Taylor was late in my. I'd say it was late in my day.
because people were
Yeah,
there
but
was
Damilola
knife
Taylor-
crime in before that, but more than getting stabbed, people used to more get slashed. Like people would you get a slash on the face, you get a slash on the arm or whatever. People weren't trying to really joke each other like that. It was more of a I'm gonna leave a mark
So
kind of thing.
So I think this is sorry to do this to you, but this is where our age gap
Yeah,
show
yeah.
because Damilola Taylor would have, if he was still alive, we'd be the same age. Okay, so for me, it happened when he was 10. So for me, I was young. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that was my first experience of young people
Involved in that, yeah.
Trying to really like before that, it was it's only on TV that you're seeing grown men in them action movies trying to like finish each other off. Not in real life for the streets of London. We're getting like obviously adults were fighting in clubs or fighting at social events, but a child leaving primary school, it would have been at the age of 10, and other kids, because that's what they were at the time. His attackers were other kids, like doing that. So that rocked my world. That completely rocked my world. So it's not like it wasn't happening back then. It was, but it's just
not like this.
Now it just wasn't like this.
This is everywhere. In London, out of London.
I fully support them. Yeah, I fully support the movement. Fully support what Idris Elba's doing. I wish there were more initiatives for the cause, to be honest, because and he said it in his interview with Capital Extra. He was like, I want there to be a better future for the kids coming up, because it's about the kids. Like, if you're a grown person and you're carrying a machete and you're doing your mazzoline, you're a grown person. But these are like
kids. They're supposed to be enjoying the world and
they're meant to be enjoying
being
the
like a
innocence
flower and just opening up to all the possibilities.
I'm telling you, because once you become an adult, you start paying bills.
Then you might want to invest in a knife.
Then you might want to invest in for real. Jokes aside.
Jokes aside. But
JK.
Yeah, on a serious note, but, it's the kids like it's hard because I want to use people as examples. I want to lean on people, but then where they've got shady history, I was gonna say like like how Michael Jackson loved the kids and he was always about her, and I was like, it's Michael Jackson. But basically, being a child is a once in a lifetime thing. You probably got from like.
Do you really think there's kids listening?
No. But I'm just saying it's like it's from 1 till like I don't know if you want to call it 17 or 18 because you still got your innocence around them age. So you become conscious at maybe about 3 to 4. So from 4 to 18, these are the golden years that we need to allow people to just be and grow and experience life and enjoy it. Not be searching for weaponry and gangs and blocks and area codes and whatnot to be killing one another. Like that can happen 18 plus, but that's a one little moment of time. It's about 14 years, 13 years at best.
I don't think these kids know the severity of what life actually is. I don't think they deep it's a game.
Yeah, I know, but they're reading the world and coming to that conclusion. They're not like coming to that all by themselves. They're looking at the world and coming to that conclusion.
That's not where I'm going with it. Like, I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is like we understand life and death. Like we get it. In fact, there's probably adults that still don't get it because they might not have experienced someone close dying. It's still like it's something that you're aware of. Everybody dies, everything ends, but because you've not experienced it personally, it doesn't become like, oh, it's a reality. It can happen. Like I feel like we understand the finality of life. Yeah. Do you understand me? When you're that young, you don't. It's all fun and not that it's fun and games, but it is. It's I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm gonna do you dirty, but you don't understand the severity and the finality in that until it's too late. You've done something that you shouldn't have done, and now you're finding yourself in in the system, do you know what I mean? Like you're finding yourself in the system as a delinquent, and you've just changed the whole trajectory of your life, especially if you're an ethnic minority. Because once you're in the system as an ethnic minority, you're not going to change your life. That's it. That's how you're going to be branded. There's examples we can draw from of Caucasians entering the system at a young age, and they come out with a whole new identity, and they're able to go on to have jobs in the legal system even, and stuff like that, even though they've got a shady past. But for working class or lower middle class ethnic minorities, to you, you're angry or you're upset or you're backing your friend's beef, and you do something in the moment, you don't understand the severity of that finality of taking someone's life until your life is taken from you. And that's where I was going with this, when I was like, they don't understand what they're doing. They actually don't understand it. I don't think their mind can cognitively, do you get it? Like process that if I use this thing on this person and kill them, this is what it's gonna lead to. They can't do that. They don't have that foresight. I don't care how mature you are. You don't have that foresight between that age group. And I could even extend it and say up until 25, you may or may not have the foresight to be like, this thing I'm gonna do now, what's my life gonna look like at 50? Like you just don't think that far. When I was, and I know our generation was a lot more innocent, when I was 23, I couldn't see past 27, 28 of my life. It just wasn't a concept. It was like I can see now to 26. That was it. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by I don't think they really deep like what life actually is, and the finality of killing someone, and then the repercussions. I don't think they get it. They just don't get it. It's all fun and games. It's all like childish mentality. Like I'm just backing my friend's beef, or someone's pissed me off or whatever. Hopefully I'm communicating this in a way that makes sense, but I just don't think they get that. Someone has pissed you off, yes, you have every right to feel upset, you have every right to react to it, but this thing that you're going to do, is it worth it? Because you're about to lose your life. They're losing their life, but you're about to lose yours as well. I don't think that registers with them. So I as much as like getting these weapons off the street, I would really like to see that there's more like education. You know, like
it's discipline.
More...
It's discipline that's needed, because I think a lot of people
discipline is separate.
No. So the discipline is about
discipline is
about
separate,
understanding the self.
But there still needs to be that's fine. Discipline is about understanding self. Discipline is also about learning. Discipline is also about thinking about that future. Thinking about, okay, this thing that I'm doing now, let me sacrifice this right now for the future. That's what discipline is. Like, do you get it? I get that, but I'm more talking about. Even the step before the discipline needs to be education. It needs to be education. It needs to be like, and I'm not talking education like school education. I'm talking about the understanding of how the world works, and understanding what life is, and understanding, you know, that there are systems in place that will work against you if you do these type of things and stuff like that. That's,
you know what, I hear that. But I think that's I think that's not the negative side of it, but I think that's the opposite side of it. And I think that actually it's the education in knowing that you actually have a value, like you can be something. I don't think these people actually think that they mean anything in the world.
It could be both. The education can encapsulate that and what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But I do think that there needs to be, as much as let's try and reduce the amount of weapons in circulation on the streets. That's one thing. Let's try and educate, whatever that curriculum's going to be, but educate, and then discipline. That it's a 3-arm, maybe 4-5 arm thing, but it's not one solution is what I'm saying. But what I would like to see off the back of what I'm saying is some sort of education, so that these kids, because you know what, when I was growing up, there's a lot of things in the areas that I lived in growing up, in the groups that I was affiliated with growing up, in the environments that I was in growing up. It would have been very easy for me to end up in a gang, or end up in a life of crime, or end up being one of those girls that was on the streets, or even if I was to take it down the family line, I could have easily been one of those women with multiple kids by multiple baby dads. Like, I could have been one of those people that didn't get an education, didn't get a job, like ended up on benefits. That could have been me. Because when I think about not obviously I said that my parents were making a certain amount of money, but I spent a lot of my time, I lived in Hackney. I grew up in Homerton. I grew up in Dalston. Like, we know these areas in Hackney were the areas in Hackney for that sort of lifestyle. So there's a lot of people I knew growing up that aren't here anymore because they're either in jail or they've been killed, basically, right? So, but the thing that grounded me as an individual, despite having friends of that in that lifestyle, was the education I was getting at home. My dad spent a lot of time talking to me, talking to my sister and my brother about not just personal discipline and remembering where you come from and knowing who you are and knowing how to say no and all that, and knowing that you can be something, not the streets. You can be something. Outside of that education, my dad spent a lot of time teaching us that actions have consequences, and it's not the consequence you see is not the only consequence that is there. And so, like, at the time, I used to find it annoying. Like, oh, dad's always chatting, man, or he's too strict, or like he's, you know, he thinks about things that, okay, I went out with my friend. Okay, for example, I bunked off school one time, and to me, that's not a thing. Like, I bunked off school, it's not a thing. I just wanted to go to the park with my friends. My dad saw it as, you carry on doing that, before you know it, you're gonna be sneaking off with boys. And I was like, is it always boys? And it was like, no, but that's how it starts. Do you know what I mean? He used to go left, and I was like, it doesn't need to go left. It's just right. Like, chill. But what I'm saying is, if my dad didn't have those conversations with me, I wouldn't have known that, okay, this thing that I'm seeing, that's not the only way. Like, the consequence I'm seeing is not the only consequence that exists. It's bigger than this, and it's bigger than me. Yeah. So when I was in certain situations where I could have gone left, like there was like certain things that people in my friendship group were involved with that I could have joined them. Because I had that education from home and I had that understanding, it stopped me. So, like, where and this is why I speak very highly of my dad. It's not even just the whole, oh, how he treats my mom, the fact that, it's the fact that when I say he was a present father, that's what I'm talking about. He took the time. And not to say that you have to have a present parent. Someone needs to teach these youths or these kids that life is bigger than you. Like, it's bigger than you and your situation. There's more to it than that. Your actions have consequences you haven't even considered or foreseen or even knew are possible are there. And if you do this now, there's a domino effect on how this could affect your life. Are you sure? And that has, in my mind, even till today, as a grown 30-something-year-old woman, when I want to move mad, because I know I can move mad, if I'm in certain situations and I know that I could, whatever, that's what I go back to. That's why I didn't start the OnlyFans that we talk about every other like quarter, because I think about the consequence of that. You've probably heard me say on this podcast, I'm not a married woman yet. I haven't met my person. If I do our OnlyFans and they find out we've got OnlyFans, what's the consequence of that going to be years down the line? Do you see what I'm saying? So someone needs to teach these kids to think like that, because if they have that as part of the education, that could save somebody from doing something crazy, because it definitely saved me. And I promise you, all my friends from secondary school, from when I was like my secondary school in Hackney, all the girls and all the guys that I hung out with back then, the majority of them are not living the kind of life that I would have wanted to live, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there's only a few of us that made it. And when I say made it, I mean we're living a clean life. We've not gone to jail.
You still got options.
We're not. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not. There's a few of my guys that I grew up with that back then. They're dead now because of things like knife crime. So that's where I was going with the whole education thing. What you're saying, I'm not saying like I don't agree with you, but I think that it's more. It's got to be more than just you could be more like there's whatever the curriculum is gonna be. It just needs to encompass what we're saying, isn't it? But it needs to be more than discipline, and it needs to be more than let's get the knives off the street, let's get the weapons off the street. It's got to be these kids. We need to invest in these kids, like in terms of their mindset and their knowledge and how they see the world and how they see themselves and all of that. It's a big task.
But then people are paid to do it, so they need to crack on.
I agree. It's not my calling. But like I said, the government get paid to come up with these things, not us. So
they need to crack.
They should
on.
come up with. They need to come up with what, and it's not a big job for them because that's why they're the government. That's why we have a democracy. You should be able to handle cost of living, war,
pandemic.
You should be able to handle that. If you can't handle that, you're not a working
a couple
system.
kids going a bit delinquent, that should be a walk in the park.
It should be easy. If you can't handle all of that, if you can't spin all of those plates, then maybe we need to think about how we need to start rioting like the French, because clearly the system is not working. As a government, you're not. It's not working if you can't spin all those plates. It's not too much. It's not a big task. So get on with it. That's what I would say about that. Guys, it's been good to be back. We're sorry that we weren't here for probably like 3 weeks now, something like that. Can't remember. It was a bit abrupt, but life be lifing. Then Christmas happened, then New Year's happened, and so it is what it is. But I hope you've enjoyed our comeback episode. We're on the road to hitting 100 episodes, you know.
100.
It's a lot. So if you're new here and you liked what you heard, we've got like 90 something episodes, I think, or we're on 80 something.
I feel like we're up there. Like I think it's 96 or 95, somewhere like high.
I think we're in the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember what episode we're on, but there's bare episodes for you to watch. We've been doing this now for almost 3 years now. I think it's our third year or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot for you to binge in it. But make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Those of you that have been riding with us for however long you've been riding with us, thank you for riding. Hope you enjoy 2024 with us and all that good stuff. Details of what you need to know will be on the screen right now. Is there anything you want to say, Venom, before I close out? No. It has been your home slice, Dami Zane, alongside my co-host,
your boy Venom.
Until next week.
Peace.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I'll reverse it.
It's the Unpicked Podcast.
Peace.